They are absolutely everywhere, crawling under our feet, buzzing right past our ears, flitting through the treetops. They're like the tiny, unseen engines that run the entire world, a kingdom of creatures so vast and so varied it almost defies imagination. So in this explainer, we're going to uncover the blueprint of the single most successful animal group on planet Earth. I mean, from scorching hot deserts to icy mountain peaks, insects have pretty much conquered every habitat on land. We see them every single day, right? But have you ever really stopped to ask a very simple question: what actually makes an insect an insect? The answer, it turns out, is way more fascinating and surprisingly specific than you might think. Okay, so before we get to what defines an insect, we first have to wrap our heads around the sheer scale of their success. Because it's not just impressive, it's practically unbelievable. They are, without a doubt, Earth's dominant life form. And that right there, that's not an exaggeration. It's not a bold claim. It's a fact. This one powerful idea is really the starting point for our entire explainer. When you talk about numbers, diversity, or just pure adaptability, no other group of animals even comes close. A huge part of that success is their just incredible variety. They live everywhere, on land, in the air, even in fresh water. I mean, just look at the wild architecture of this lamellicorn beetle with those massive, intricate horns. It's amazing. So far, scientists have put a name to over 1 million different species. From these stunningly vibrant butterflies to the most perfectly camouflaged creatures you can imagine. And here's the part that'll really blow your mind. Experts believe there could be millions, and I mean millions, more just waiting to be discovered. A major key to their triumph is their size. Being small means you can fit into all sorts of little specialized places, and you don't need a lot of food to get by. But here's the really cool part. Being small often means having shorter generations. And more generations over time, well, that means more chances to adapt and evolve. It's this perfect recipe for incredible adaptations, like this stick insect that just completely vanishes into its surroundings. So with all this mind-boggling variety, what's the common thread? What's the fundamental design that unites a beetle, a fly, and an ant? Well, let's break down the six-legged blueprint. What's so cool about this is just how simple it is. Every single one of those million-plus species is built on this exact same three-part plan. You've got the head, which is all about sensory input. Then the thorax, that's the engine room for movement. And finally, the abdomen, which holds all the internal organs. Head, thorax, abdomen. That's it. And here it is, the golden rule, the single most important number in the entire insect world. If you want to know if something is an insect, you just have to count its legs. If it has exactly 6 jointed legs, no more, no less, you're on the right track.
So instead of an internal skeleton like we have, insects wear their skeleton on the outside. It's basically a protective suit of armor made of this tough stuff called chitin. It covers every single part of their body, but it has one big problem. It can't grow. So, to get bigger, an insect has to literally shed its old skin, or molt, and then a new, larger one hardens underneath.
Okay, so we've got the basic blueprint, right? 3 parts, 6 legs, suit of armor. Now let's put it into practice and take a closer look under the hood of a single insect, this jewel beetle, to see how all those parts really work together.
An insect's view of the world is totally different from ours. Its eyes are called compound eyes because each one is actually made up of hundreds, sometimes thousands of tiny individual lenses. This doesn't give them super sharp focus, but it is absolutely brilliant at detecting movement from almost every direction at once, which is perfect for spotting a predator or finding prey.
And the antennae? They are so much more than just feelers. They are these incredibly sophisticated sensory organs. They can feel air currents and vibrations, sure, but most importantly, they can smell the world around them, picking up on tiny chemical signals that can lead them to food, a mate, or warn them of danger. And this slide right here, this shows those jointed legs we talked about perfectly. Each one of those 6 legs is a little marvel of engineering. It's typically broken down into a few main parts. You've got the muscular femur for power, the tibia, which is kind of like the lower leg, and then the tarsus, which acts like a foot and often has tiny claws on the end for gripping onto things. Now, that central body part, the thorax, that's the powerhouse. It's where all 6 legs, and if it has them, the wings are anchored. And the wings show incredible variation. On the left, you see the beetle, whose front wings have evolved into these hard protective cases called elytra. But a fly, on the right, uses just 1 pair of wings for flight, with its second pair shrunk down into these tiny little balancing organs. So, we have this simple blueprint. 3 parts, 6 legs, and exoskeleton. How in the world does that one basic plan lead to such a staggering explosion of different forms? Well, that's where we get into the major groups, or what scientists call the orders, of insects. You know, these scientific names are fantastic because they literally describe the most important features. Take Coleoptera, the beetles. That name means sheath wings for those hard protective covers. Then you have Lepidoptera, that's butterflies and moths, which means scale wings because of the tiny colorful scales all over their wings. Hymenoptera, wasps and ants, means membrane wings. And finally, Diptera, the flies, literally just means 2 wings. See, once you know the secret, it's all right there in the name.
Okay, this is a really crucial point. To really lock in our understanding of what an insect is, it's just as important to know what it is not. And trust me, a lot of common creepy crawlies get mistaken for insects all the time.
The most common case of mistaken identity is with the arachnids. We're talking spiders, scorpions, and ticks. And this slide just makes the difference crystal clear. Just look at the checklist. Insects have 6 legs, arachnids have 8. Insects have 3 body parts, arachnids only have 2. Insects have antennae, arachnids do not. It's that simple.
And this tarantula is a perfect example, right? Count the legs. 1, 2, yep, there are 8 of them. And look closely, see how the head and the thorax are fused together into one single piece? That's called a cephalothorax. It's a completely different body plan from the insects we've been looking at.
Here's another common one that is definitely not an insect. A centipede has a distinct head with antennae, sure, but its body is made of many, many segments, and each of those segments has its own pair of legs. And fun fact, those front legs aren't for walking. They're actually modified into venomous fangs called poison claws. And just when you think you've got it all figured out, the insect world throws you a curveball. Did you know that scientifically speaking, not all things we call bugs are actually true bugs? The true bugs belong to a specific order called Hemiptera, which means half-wing, because of their unique wing structure. It just goes to show you how much incredible detail is hiding inside this group. So, what's the big takeaway from all this? Well, here is your simple pocket guide. The next time you see a small creature scurrying around, just run through this checklist in your head. Does it have 6 legs? Does it have 3 distinct body parts? Does it have a pair of antennae? If you can answer yes to all 3, then congratulations, you've officially identified an insect. You know, from this one simple blueprint, an entire empire was born. They are the planet's great survivors, its greatest innovators. And it really leaves us with a final fascinating question. With so many species still undiscovered, crawling through jungles and soils we've barely even explored, what other incredible secrets are they still hiding from us?